What's up, everybody? We're just going to wait for a couple people to hop on, and then we will begin. Today's a fun day. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of details and weathering. Hopefully we'll be wrapping up the main body of the tread speeder today, so that we can move on to figure and basing for the final stream or two. Super, super excited.
Alright, let me just get this set up so I can see the chat. So there are multi-screen going on right here. Oh yeah, I need the pop-up chat for Twitch going so I can reply back on there. Huge. Where's our videos? Not showing up yet. There it is, live stream.
And then we will begin.
Alright.
Today's a fun...
Alright, there we go. Let's get a stream going. Alright. Here.
Welcome, new viewer.
Welcome. That. We need to go to here. Our dashboard. Screen manager, pop-out chat. Boom. Alright, cool. What was that?
Alright, where's our viewer?
Our viewer is... Looks like it is...
Looks like we got 7
viewers
in-
on... Yeah, we got 7 people on Facebook. Hey guys, welcome.
What's up, everybody? Oh, we can switch to regular screen now.
Let's do top cam. Alright.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Wednesday. So we've got a whole bunch of weathering and detailing to do. So super excited about being able to get this thing. Hopefully the main body of the tread speeder is going to get wrapped up today. So very excited about that, so we can move on to figure and basing over the next stream or two. I think it's either going to be 1 or 2 streams to finish this thing up. Probably 2, only because I think the basing is going to be a nice challenge, because I want this model to be removable from the base. So we're going to be doing some pretty large brass inserts into the base itself. So that's going to be kind of fun. But yeah, so looking at the model as it stands, we've got a couple of new paints in. So one thing I want to start messing around with is going to be this rubber black from Tamiya. I think this is going to be a much better paint to at least put on top of our treads. So we're going to start by doing that. So we're going to cover our treads. Then we're going to go in and start doing some detailing. So first level of detailing is going to be putting in some rust into all of our little nuts. We're going to detail the pin and bolt section that kind of holds this whole piece together, which runs the motors that run the treads. Then we're going to start running some grease and some rust into all of the areas that run through the engine and the piping and all of that detail area here. We've got to do the same thing on this area. We've got to do the same thing on this area. We've got a lot of oil and grease to put over here. We've got lots of oils and grease to put under here and under here. Then on this guy, we were discussing what parts of the model that we think are non-rustable items. So aluminum versus regular old steel and things like that. So we feel like this intake is probably an aluminum piece versus being an armor plate steel piece here. We've obviously got to do some little bits of rusting and some little bits of corrosion on this. But we're going to do a little bit of rub and buff, some metal corrosion on the edges here and on here. Then on the back, we're going to darken all of this stuff up, give it some nice weathering, then we're probably going to do a little bit of rub and buff on here to show some good wear and tear, because all of this would have been, you know, a steel or aluminum piece, and give that some nice detailing and edge wear. Then on the back, this is all supposed to be a nice gloss, because it's going to be leather, vinyl, definitely not a flat material. So we've got that to do. This whole thing needs to be covered in oils and greases and stuff like that. We've got to do some burn marks on our gun barrels. The side piece here, I believe, is supposed to be an aluminum finish, so that needs to be rub and buffed. Then we need to go through and start working on our sand material, which is going to be some spot airbrushing and then some pigmentation. We're probably going to save the pigmentation for once we get the base done and it's kind of attached to the base, but we can do some basic weathering and some basic, probably just some basic spot weathering. So we're not going to go super heavy with the buff. Probably just some earth, I'm assuming, maybe some Archive X earth, and just do a little bit of very light kind of sand and dirt, because we're going to go back with dry pigments later on to actually give it its nice, real crusty effect later on. So, lots of stuff to do. But first off, let's start with our rubber. So I've already pre-shaken this bottle. And we're just going to grab some water.
Also, let us know about the audio levels to see if we need to lower the audio on the music, or if we need to boost one of us.
Yeah, please do. I mean, again, we're still very, very new to all of the streaming stuff, so we don't know where all the levels are as far as what you guys can hear versus what we can hear.
Michael says, damn, that looks better and better every time I see it.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, especially after it dries. So we did put a lacquer flat coat over the top of everything just to kind of seal it in.
Yeah, the rust definitely is really coming in on certain areas.
But we're just going to go through here. We're not even going to touch the sides of the rubber because there's already black on there. Unless I see some sort of like glaring bit of rust that needs to be patched. But we're just going to get this Tamiya rubber black right on top. And then we'll still go through here. I want to come up with some sort of aging finish that I can figure out to go on top of this. If the rubber doesn't dry with that kind of like, I don't know, you get that kind of like oxidizing whitish kind of feel to edges and things like that from old rubber.
Almost kind of like a whitewash feel. It's all.
But it's not quite a. It's not going to be a dry brush type of effect. So I'll be interested to see what I come up with for that.
It's like dry rotted. Yeah. Oh.
Oh, and I did want to let you guys know, and we'll try to mention this, you know, as we stream. We want to make our community as family-friendly, safe as possible, so that your whole family and your kids and stuff like that can get involved in the hobby that you love too, and we can keep the generation of hobbies growing. So if you want your kids to be able to watch and learn and stuff like that, feel free. We're not going to be cursing or talking about anything adult oriented, and we won't have anything adult themed or oriented on the channel.
Yep.
So feel free to have your family or your kids come in and watch the channel. So interestingly enough, I mean, it's drawing very similar to the engine black. Which is nice. I mean, this means we made a good choice. But I'm still going to go through here and
Just kind of give it a nice little
get these colors on.
once over.
Okay, so we just need to give that a little bit dry.
Nice.
Alright. Okay. So while that dries, I'm going to mix up AK interactive medium rust deposits. So we're not going to be using our super special rusting paints because we're going to be working a little bit more detailed here. But I'm just going to kind of hit some spots. I'm just trying to think where stuff's gonna sit. Which is usually underneath. And be careful not to go overboard.
See, Jeff says, what paints are you using when adding layers of weathering to this model?
So right now I'm using AK Interactive Rust Deposits, but it's just going to depend. I'm trying to use ArchiveX as much as possible, and they're enamel paints which allow them to be able to do a lot of very fine layering effects, because once you mix them down, you can blend them really easily. So most of this is all ArchiveX. But this particular paint right here is AK Interactive Rust.
He says, looks awesome, by the way. Coming along nicely. Thanks, Jeff.
And the AK Interactive paints are also enamel. So once dry, even, you can go back with mineral spirits and loosen them up and kind of blend them. The main thing is you have to make sure that you seal your paints before you do that kind of work. So I went through with a lacquer sealer before we got on stream today and sealed up these paints.
James says, what size brush are you using?
This is a number 0. It is a round. I'd like to say pointed round, but it's not. It's a synthetic brush. You don't want to use natural brushes with enamel or any type of harsh paints.
And then, let's see, Jeff says, things have some lacquer and water-based acrylics, but have been looking into enamels. Looking at AK now, since they have enamels and the pencils that look easy to apply.
The pencils, really expensive. Obviously, they make good pencils. I would recommend going on Amazon and grabbing a cheap set of oil pencils and testing them out, because it's oil-based colored pencil. So it does the same thing as the AK pencils, I think. Again, I bought some. We'll test them out at some point on a model, because that's what I'm assuming that it'll do the same thing. But you should be able to use the pencil for weathering, and then you just go back over it with thinner, and that'll be the kind of like the binder / blender. So you can get a pack of like 72 oil pencils for $30 or so. But AK makes some great stuff. That'd be another one that would be great to get a sponsorship from. Not just to be able to get their stuff to play with more, but to do giveaways. Because I'm all about giving away things.
Let's see, James says, do you use any of the Tamiya weathering powders?
I have. I don't know where mine are. I have a bunch of different pigments lying around. We are going to be using some.
I know I've used some.
But yes, the weathering powders work great. Everything that Tamiya does actually works just fine. But it really just depends on what you do. Like, I've got hundreds of like Vallejo and Scale 75 and Reaper paints for painting miniatures, but they're not the best for this kind of work because they're really pigment heavy and you can't lay them on quite well with the same consistency in an airbrush. But with Tamiya and AK Interactive and stuff like that, They go into an airbrush really well and they thin down really easily. So I prefer those for this kind of work. But the miniature paints are really good for doing vibrant colors and for specifically for painting miniatures, you know? They're very pigment heavy. Lots of these weathering paints are really nice because they actually have little bits of the real material inside. Plus they also carry the right amount of specularity, the right amount of gloss. So when they dry, like because this has already been sealed with the proper tone, I'm not going to seal this again. These colors are supposed to dry with the right amount of specular. So if I put wet oil on this, it's going to dry looking like wet oil. So that's kind of the cool stuff that you get from AK Interactive and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
But we'll go over a lot of this kind of stuff in my series of classes coming up, like very in depth, where we go over not only just the inexpensive paints, but the very expensive or advanced, you know, paints and stuff like that, and what they're good for and how they can be used, etc., etc. There'll be many, many modules on how all of this kind of stuff works. That's what that whole series of classes is going to be about. I'm thinking there's going to be well over 100 modules before even the official like class part of it is done, and we're just doing projects.
James says, "What's your favorite method of chipping?"
Use a chipping fluid. The hairspray technique works, but it can be... there's a timing issue involved. So I prefer spending the money on the actual chipping fluid. But it's tricky, you gotta get it right.
You know what? I think I even remember seeing someone use mustard one time to do chipping on like some old like prop cosplay chipping for like the Halo helmets.
Oh yeah?
They would do their initial paints and then they put like mustard down where they want the chipping to occur, and then they just wipe it off.
Huh.
I don't know what type of paint they were using, but I was just like, that's weird.
Yeah, I mean the hairspray method works, but you have a specific amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
And there are chipping fluids that allow you to do much finer chips.
That's
so
cool.
depending on the size of the model that you're working with, you know, sometimes you don't want to take off a lot, and you have to pay attention to that. So, but again, it boils down to budget, and like especially if you're trying to learn how to do it, you know, use the hairspray, because then you can figure out like the methodology around it. I'm gonna have to glue that again. That thing is... no, it's okay. Okay. Alright, so we've got our rusty touch-ups.
Nice.
So those are all very bright.
Yes, James says he loves the rock salt method.
Oh, rock salt. Okay, so that leaves... see, that leaves, spatter pattern. But you don't get control off of it because it's randomized to the rock salt. And it depends upon the size of the rock salt that you put down. So, I mean, it does work.
Mm-hmm.
But you're left with a pretty big lack of control. So I personally don't recommend it if you're looking for particular shape language in your chipping. But if you're looking for kind of like that spattery pattern, then yeah, it definitely will do it. Okay. So we've got our little bits of rust and stuff. let's do some streaking grime.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think in there might have been another one for the trains that was like the oil.
Over here?
No, down one, that one.
Ah.
See if there's another one. That was like the oil stains. I don't know if I still have it or not. I might be out.
There's the carbon black. There's the earth. Wood. So the black top one. Let's see. Bearing grease. Here you go.
Yeah, bearing grease.
There's the chipping fluid.
So I'm just going to kind of spread this around, and then I'm going to blend this off here in a sec. See how easy that is with just the mineral spirits that were left over?
Your hand, it's focusing on your hand right now. Let's see. Oh wow. That's a really nice blend. Cool. What's this? Oh, is this actual carbon? Do you want this for the barrels, or are you gonna do the just paint? Actual carbon soot.
That's a pigment.
Ah,
Hmm.
maybe.
So we're just working away all the spots. So they just look like nice, dirty. Nice and dirty smooth.
Nice.
There we go. Looks pretty cool. So we've got some grime. Well, this didn't make it very long. We're gonna have to get some more of this. This stuff is cool. If I can get it open.
Use my knife. So if you need to cut around it.
Might need those pliers that are on top of the 3D printer.
Okay, you can go get them. Oh, let me see.
Alright, 1 second while we get the pliers. That must have been sitting and drying. But it's a cool, like, greasy... Yeah, it's dried on. Yeah, it's on top of the 3D printer. But we're going to drop some grease stains coming out of here. And then we've got lots of grease stains to put all over this engine area here. All over here and here.
Stuck on that pretty good.
Cool. Oh, good, we have some. At least we have some left. But yeah, this is
Yeah, I should switch to the front camera so you can show it off.
variance grease.
There
Yeah.
we go.
Try to stick to the front camera as much as possible right now.
Yeah. Hydraulic lines and stuff leaking.
Alright, so where would leaking occur in here?
Definitely probably out that little spout on the bottom. Let's see.
I'm trying to think maybe it's just kind of a haphazard thing.
Mm-hmm. Maybe around the base, yeah, right in there. Yeah, that's crazy. Definitely looks like oil spill. Like,
Yeah, and it should dry like this too.
that's cool. Yeah, like it's dripping down on top of that thing. Nice.
So we'll make it seem like something's coming out of the engine.
That's why it's been parked. Neil Hurst says, looks great. Do you guys have the runner still available?
See, that looks pretty darn cool.
That looks cool, dude. Yeah, that definitely looks like oil has literally been seeping out. And combining that with that rust, man. Oh, don't forget the front main carrier bearing. That'd be a good spot. So that to kind of leak out right there. I can't see it from the front. Didn't know if you want to move it over or how you want to do that. Nice.
Okay.
Nice. Dude, that looks awesome. I dig it. Man, it makes me want to do a big Zaku that's been like rusted out from the Gundam universe.
Oh yeah.
Because those were a lot of ground-based units and stuff.
Nice.
And they didn't take care of them because they're kind of just like the grunt suit.
Yeah.
So like that stuff would work great for like getting it super rusty.
Alright, so again we're just gonna pile this on and then we're gonna blend it off
Nice.
afterwards.
So we're using to blend it with mineral?
Yep, just mineral spirits.
Oh.
Because it's enamel paint.
Right.
So unlike acrylic, once acrylic dries, you can't mix it again.
Mhm.
But with enamel, because I've got a sealer on underneath it, I can, until
Move
it
it around a
completely
little.
cures, I can do a lot of messing around with it.
Interesting. See that little funnel coming out right there, that bottom piece? See that kind of leaking? Like it's like an evap tube or something?
This thing?
No, on the back piece. Yeah, right there.
hand's in the way.
Oh, that's okay. I'll switch to the top so you can see what you're doing back there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give me some of that oil. That stuff is sick.
Yeah, there's a whole line of this stuff specifically for doing train weathering. That is pretty freaking cool.
I'm gonna change songs.
Yeah, that song is weird.
Yeah. There you go. Nice. That looks pretty good on that side. Yeah, I like the way it blends with that rust. Like, it looks very realistic.
Yeah.
So you still kind of see the texture of the rust through the oil. Nice. Yeah, that's looking good, dude.
Okay. So we need to add some grime
Be like a little grime in the joints.
up here, just to darken this stuff up. So it's easier if I just hold this.
Kind of excited to try that rub and buff.
Yeah, I know. As soon as we get all this
I've always wanted to
weathered
use it.
out.
It's just so expensive. I can't believe like how small these containers were. I thought they were like twice this size. Nice.
So we're just kind of giving it a patina.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still removing. Oops. Spilled some.
Lots of vocal artists on the channel today. So where's that next one? You know what? Let's go to house grooves today. Let's see what that.
All right, that's pretty good.
What is this song? It's very like dance music. Alright, or not. Sorry guys, just trying to find a good station for us to jam out to while we work. Put a little lo-fi on. Nice. Got 13 people watching. Got 7 on Facebook, 1 on YouTube, and 5 on Twitch.
Nice.
Nice. Welcome, guys.
All right.
You all are having a great day.
So next up, we're gonna try something a little bit new, and that is called the rub and buff. It's supposed to give a realistic metal finish, and we've got plenty of metal paints, but I've never tried this rub and buff stuff. So there's a couple of spots on this model that are aluminum finish, and we want to try to mimic that look and feel. So we're going to try this rub and buff stuff.
Need a
So, I have no idea what it's made out of.
I just remember seeing Adam use it and talk about it's like its favorite thing. It has like wax. Metallic finish. Huh.
Oh, clean with mineral spirits. Okay, cool. So it's enamel.
Huh. Cool. Immediately give it a nice little metal. like this stuff, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
You know what? Probably that little small panel in the back would probably also be aluminum, huh? Seems like it almost just adds like an actual like metallic, almost like an underlay, but like it's it's not underneath. It's crazy. It's as if it was sandblasting the paint, but it's like letting the metal kind of shine through. It's kind of cool.
That's just pretty legit.
Nice. Definitely gives it like a really nice metallic look to it. Oh yeah, those little minty things on the side. Oh yeah, this will probably be aluminum.
These would get so much wear and tear, there's no way that they would maintain paint.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially right there, because their leg rubbing up against those.
There we go.
Nice. That stuff's cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right.
Let's see what else.
I gotta let the dog out for a second,
Okay.
real quick. I'll be right back. Oh,
Careful.
don't knock the camera.
Yeah.
Right back.
All right. I guess I'll spin this for you guys. Dude, I'm liking that. That's so cool. Yeah, that looks fantastic right there. Looks great. I like it. Let's see. I guess next is doing like the soot.
So next actually is the glossy Um,
Oh, the vinyl, or for the seat.
the seat,
Yes.
which I'm looking to see if I've got any glossy black. Might just have to use a gloss clear coat, which I do have. So for any of you who have not seen or are new to the stream, we use this vibrating machine called Interlab Vortex mixer. You can look up Vortex mixer on Amazon and look up INT Lab for the cheaper version because they can get up to like $100 or more. But it's used for chemistry or nail polish mixing. But basically, you just press and it shakes up your paint. So it comes in super handy for all kinds of paints. Removes the need for ball bearings and all kinds of stuff for mixing up your paints.
You need a big one of those for the resin.
Yeah, right. You just for 3D printing resin to mix up your resins.
Yeah.
Jeez. Hey, you never know.
They actually
That would actually be kind of cool.
They may make one. You never know. Yeah.
I mean, they do make big ones. Like I said, they can get up to $100 or more. Maybe there is a really big one. All right. So this is just Tester's gloss lacquer. So we're gonna make our seat. Nice and shiny.
Give that nice leathery look.
I must have had this bottle of gloss lacquer for at least 10 years, if not more.
Stuff lasts forever.
Alright, so we're going to let that dry. Looks like we're getting a little bit of orange peel, which is fine. Again, we're going to get a lot of dust up here.
Yeah. I think that'll probably add to it once we get the dust on it.
So I'm going to be covering over this whole joint area anyway,
Mm-hmm.
with a deposit of dirt.
Nice.
Okay. So we can use the same mineral spirits to clean off the lacquer. Alright, so now we need to do a little bit of, I think we're going to do the soot on the barrels probably by hand. We might use those pigments like Justin was talking about. But we've got some dust work to do with the airbrush. Just to start doing some of the overall weathering. And then, I mean, we're moving pretty quickly here. So we can start prepping the base. I mean, we've discussed how we're going to do the base, but we can kind of ad-lib a little bit and just kind of start messing with that a little bit. It's a pretty complex procedure. We've basically got to drill some pins because I want this whole thing to be removable. So we can start messing with that. I've got the figures here, which we can show you, but it needs to be cleaned. I've got a lot of cleanup to do on that, so that's kind of boring. I don't really want to show you guys that on stream. We will have videos on cleaning and stuff like that, but that's going to be in the class. I don't want to stream cutting and sanding and all that kind of stuff.
Sanding for hours.
Yeah, that's a little boring. But let's go ahead and get the airbrush going. And we're going to do just a little bit of light earth. And we're just going to spot it, because again, we're going to go back through this with pigments, but I'm just going to kind of set the mood.
Is that the Archive X?
Yeah, this is Archive X Light Earth. I'll show you a picture of it here in a second. Do you guys have any questions while we're getting ready to wrap this thing up?
Shoot questions over. Well,
you can chat. You can write your message back to Neil. PM. Just send it in a message. See the link? Yeah.
Nice. Didn't know you could do that.
Okay. So we've got our Archive X Light Earth. So we're going to go through the same procedure as always. We've got our little pipette. So we're going to grab some light earth. And then we'll still be using the cheapo airbrush. Let's see how thin this is. So I'm going off at an angle.
Gonna give it some direction.
Yep, definitely giving it some direction.
It's just like a light mist.
We went through that super quick. Alright, before I forget, one thing that we forgot to do with the rub and buff
Oh, there's that little piece down there.
was to hit these elements. Okay. Just mixing up some more of this.
just kind of laying the groundwork for we're gonna put the sand and stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so this will be lots of the foundation color. And I'm gonna try not to airbrush over the rust very much. We'll do that with pigments.
Nice.
I think that looks pretty darn good.
Yeah, that was good, man. I dig it. What do you guys think? Nice.
Oh, we wanted to ask, out of those with the ability to chat, or anybody watching a replay, please let us know in the comments, are you watching on your phone or on the TV? Because we are getting more cameras and more equipment, and we need to know if we are should have multiple views on the same screen, or should we be doing this dual screen thing at the same time. Plus, I'm going to start solo streaming sometimes, in which case I'm going to need to have a close-up view and a faraway view on at the same time, because I can't switch back and forth between multiple views as often, because Justin won't be here. But I'm curious what platform you guys are watching on for the most part. So let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
It'll help us. I know on some platforms there are metrics to track that, but it would be great if you just tell us.
Mm-hmm. And tell us what you like. You know, if you want us to have multiple views at the same time, or do you like the one big for close-up shots, like the detail shot, like right here? So
Yeah, I mean, we're planning on getting a wider angle camera for the close-up and a wider angle camera for the far-off shot. Better camera for my iMag camera so that you guys can actually see. I'm going to start trying to pay more attention to you guys, and then especially during class time when we start recording classes. There's going to be a lot more hands-on between you and me while we actually go over things. But we have a lot of really good ideas and a lot of equipment coming in to be able to do more and more. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to that. We're going to let this dry. Now is a good time for a break. So when we come back, I think we're going to start planning with you guys on the basing, and we may attempt to do a little drilling and get some pins in this thing and look at setting the pins in the base. I'm not sure. I mean, some of that stuff is going to take some time to set, but
Yeah.
we'll look at it. But yeah, so we'll take a 5-minute break real quick to reset, and when we come back, we'll look at the next part. But yeah, this thing is sick. I'm so glad. Looks awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, guys. So, be right back.
Alright, guys. See you in a few minutes.
Hey guys, welcome back. Okay, so we just had a quick powwow and we decided that the engineering of the base is going to take some pretty serious work that I can't really do inside the photo booth. So I will show you what the base looks like and then kind of what we're planning on doing, and then we're going to engineer the actual mounts off camera today, and then when we come back tomorrow we'll do the fun stuff. That way there's no mistakes, because we're going to be drilling and trying to set things and fill things, and it'll be kind of a mess.
Yeah.
So
I do that here in the room.
So we've got our base, and what the plan is we're going to drill into this, which the whole front half of this is filled with plaster, so that it has a good front buoyancy, and then the back half is filled with foam. So we're going to drill in, and we're going to set these two brass pegs, which can slide into these aluminum rods. Then we're going to drill into this, and we're going to set and cut these aluminum pieces.
Here, I'll switch to the front. There we go.
Yeah, switch to the top cam.
Yeah, there we go.
So then we're going to set these aluminum pieces. And we got some junk in here. And we're going to cut them to fit, basically, all the way through into the base, so that they're rock solid. Then we fill this base with a solid material like plaster. So then this is rock solid. You've got these pins sticking out. When you place your model on your base, it'll slide into the pins. So then the whole thing is nice and rock solid. You can remove your model for easy teardown. Nothing's going to move around, which should be epic. Then on top of this, even though this has a sand texture, we're going to make a paste out of grout. Cover the whole thing. Cover the bottom of this with cellophane. Press fit this into those brass fittings. Kind of sculpt our pattern. Make sure everything's nice and set. Let that dry. Then when we come back, we should be able to just slide that up. We'll have a beautiful base. We can paint that. And once it's all done, remove, set, remove, set. Should be absolutely beautiful. The grout still will leave that fine sand texture, nice and rock solid, and you'll have an absolutely beautiful base, which we can then paint to match with the same colors, the same pigments, all of that stuff. So that's the plan, but it's just going to require a lot more work in an open space than we have in this small room. And right now we don't have the ability to switch live stream and camera equipment into the kitchen with the big table, so we just can't really do the engineering with two people in this space. So we're going to do that off camera and get all of that stuff done this afternoon, so that tomorrow's stream can be all about just putting this all together and getting it painted, and then we'll also go over the figure. So that's kind of the plan. Yep. But look at this thing, it's so beautiful.
Looks awesome.
Super happy with how this turned out. I mean, this thing is going to be absolutely gorgeous. So please like, follow, subscribe. We definitely need the membership. The website is coming together. It's no links are active, but you can take a look at the website as far as the homepage goes and just get a good feel for kind of what we're going to be doing. But I'm working on it as much as I can in my spare time, but we're also prepping 2 new models. So trying to get that stuff done and get some test prints done so we can make some more live streams and things. So lots of things in the works, but sorry for the shorter stream today, but we'll be streaming tomorrow evening, so after work. So we're hoping to see more of you guys tomorrow in the evening time, and maybe some more people from different countries depending on the time zones. So we look forward to that. And aside from that, this is Ethan and Justin signing off for the day. Thank you very much, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
Yep.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Later.